Hello again, welcome back to the OrtoTechGarage. My name is Keith. Today I've got a unique perspective. One of the jobs we're doing in our garage right here, it's not exactly a tutorial, but it is a demonstration. And the real premise of this video is about how to save yourself some aggravation and some money. This particular vehicle we've got overheated very badly. It's possible it's got some extensive engine damage to it, and I want to show you the whole process, what we're going to do to diagnose it, how we're going to go through the steps of making some repairs on it, and what our eventual findings will be on it. So stick with me in this video. I think you'll enjoy it. Let's get in the garage and get after it. I'm out here in the garage with this Subaru, and we're going to take a look at this car and see if we can figure out exactly what happened to it and what the extent of the damage is on here. Now, at first glance, this vehicle was towed in. It's got signs of leakage everywhere. The radiator cap is in pieces. The radiator is melted. The coolant reservoir is melted. And this vehicle has clearly been extremely overheated. My thoughts are, at the moment, it's probably got a blown head gasket in it. We're going to perform a pretty simple chemical test on it to see if there's any combustion gases in the cooling system, to see if it's pushing any pressure into the cooling system. Now, at this point, it might be difficult to determine what came first. Did the radiator cap come apart and cause this to fail, cause it to overheat, lose coolant, and then the excessive driving at that point would cause it to do some further damage on it? Or was there something else that happened? Maybe a thermostat got stuck, it overheated, and caused all that damage afterwards. And now, again, it's going to be difficult to tell at this point because this engine was clearly run extremely hot. Like, you're not going to melt the radiator and the coolant reservoir unless you really got this thing cooking. We're going to get into this test. I want to show you what that looks like, how we check it for combustion gases in the cooling system. Could be a blown head gasket, cracked cylinder head, we never know until we completely disassemble it. But we're definitely going to run a couple tests on here and see what we can find. Let's get into it. So I've just got some plain water. I need to fill up this cooling system before we do anything else on it. I do want to get it running here and warmed up. If we're going to check this cylinder combustion leakage on here, we need to get this engine warmed up a little bit, get some pressure in the cooling system, but we've got to have coolant in it to do that. We don't need to put actual coolant in here. Water is going to be fine. This car is not driving anywhere without an extensive repair. So one of the things I'll be looking for right away before I even do any testing on it, I'll be wanting to see if there's any bubbles in the cooling system. Sometimes if the cylinder head gasket is blown bad enough, it'll bubble right up into the radiator, and not really a whole lot else you need to check on it. We've had some, you give it a little bit of throttle and it'll blow the coolant right up 2 feet in the air. Let's let this run for a minute and see what it looks like. I'm here in the vehicle and I'm just giving this a little bit of throttle here, maybe about 2,000 RPMs. I want to get the engine warmed up a bit before we can perform this combustion leak detection on it. We need to get this combustion gases pushing into the cooling system. That's what we're going to be measuring when we put this tool inside the top of the radiator. So we're going to try to get this a little bit warmer than it is right now. So I've got this simple tool here that's going to test for a combustion leak. We're going to put some of this fluid in here into this device, in the top and the bottom, put it to a specific level on here, and then we're going to try to draw some of the gases out of this radiator here. And we're going to draw them through the fluid into the top chamber of these cavities here that are above the fluid. And we want to pull the combustion gas through the fluid, and the fluid itself will change colors from, on this particular car, because it's gasoline engine, it'll change from this blue to a yellow color. We're going to look for that and see if this thing tests positive for cylinder leakage. I've got this filled to the specified level in the top and bottom chamber here. I want to make sure there's not too much coolant in the top of the radiator. We don't want to draw coolant into this tester. We only want to grab the gases. We're going to put this on here, see if we can get a decent seal on it, and then we're just going to pump this bulb, draw some of the gas up into the top chamber. We've concluded the test with the combustion leak tester. It's been inconclusive during our testing here. We're also having trouble getting this car to stop boiling over while we're doing the test. So I feel like the test is something that I can't complete accurately at the moment. Because this car has a melted radiator on it and it's boiling over so badly, it is still giving us indications that the head gasket is blown on it. If we're going to fix this car regardless, we need to put a radiator in it. So at this point, we've decided that we're going to go ahead and replace the radiator. We're going to put a new thermostat in it for testing purposes and get this to a condition where we can actually drive it and determine if it's still building air in the cooling system. We're kind of inconclusive at the moment, and we need to do this step first. All right, so here we are. We got the radiator out of the vehicle. All the hoses are off. We've removed the thermostat. This thermostat, in order for us to test this, we've got to get some water hot up to thermostat's temperature. I think it's, I don't know, I can't see on here, maybe 185 degrees or so. And we would drop it in that water, that temperature, and hopefully we would see this open. That's the only way we're going to be able to test this for sure. But either way, we got a thermostat coming, we got a new radiator coming. We're going to fix all that restriction that's in there with the new radiator. We're also going to clean out the condenser, any debris that's in there. We'll put it all back together, and then we're going to bleed the cooling system, and we're going to fire this thing up and see what we can do. I also wanted to make mention, when you overheat a vehicle, it's really important to change the oil. So we're going to do an oil filter change on this as well. That may be all for nothing, because it's still possible this engine is toast here, so we don't want to go too far in it, but we want to do enough to give it a chance to survive. So we'll see where we're at once we get it all back together. Now that we've got everything reassembled, we've got all the air evacuated from the cooling system, it's refilled, we've changed the oil and filter on it. The coolant reservoir has been replaced and topped up to the proper level. Cleared all the codes inside the computer, make sure that everything is reset back to normal, and then we're going to drive this a bit and just see what it does. See if it starts to overheat on us at all, and we'll go from there. All right, that was a bit of work, guys, but we got everything completed, and I just wanted to talk a little bit about the scenario that happened here. Want to make sure you guys are paying attention to your warning lights, using your nose to follow along if you smell anything out of the ordinary, any odd noises, do you feel anything wrong with the engine. These are all symptoms that you need to pay attention to when you're driving your vehicle to avoid any catastrophic damage. This client was very lucky. Looked like it was going to have a blown head gasket on it. Somehow it didn't happen, and I'm sure they're going to be very happy about that. But I really appreciate you guys watching this video. I hope you're enjoying this type of content. We're trying to give you a wide variety of things. Thank you for watching. Thanks for sticking with us. We appreciate your support. Don't forget to leave us some comments down below. We love hearing from you guys. Any particular ideas that you have, maybe experiences you've had similar to this, we want to hear about them. And if you're enjoying our content, please watch our next video here. We'd love to share some more with you.